Let's tape it up. I know. I didn't have it in me to do it. Terrible. Good day, everyone. How's everyone doing right now? Doing okay?
Oh, wonderful. This is amazing.
What are you putting in right now, Fernando?
Oh, look at this. This one actually made. Very cool.
Oh, you're good. Don't move. Why keep moving? Let the camera do its thing.
It's the boomerang thing. It's the boomerang effect.
Oh, okay. All right. So, hybrids. Morel hybrids.
Yep.
Just getting a set of Morel hybrids up here in the front. Just getting the ground zero sound treatment to the door. It's all done up pretty. The mid bass is in place. Fast ringed. The door panel has all its foam on it. Pretty, I know, right? This has its foam on it. It's waiting for me because I'm waiting for this. Got another 16 seconds to go. Printing some Morel logos. Look at that. Laser's been going crazy today. Rainy in Southern California. Wow, really? That's crazy. So those are the logos for the doors. Tommy who? Don't forget to call today, Tommy. This is going to be the amp rack to power everything. It's going to go behind the seat. So we have the D61200, the LC1500, Epicenter, T-Spec distribution blocks, dual zero gauge. This is going to go on. So here's the problem. Everything you do in car audio, there's sacrifice, there is purpose, and all of it. What's up, mobile dog?
Hey, Jack is there. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations, Jack. And in this case, this amplifier needs to be on the passenger side of the car because in this Honda Accord, the factory amplifier is here. Everything we need to do is on this side of the car for signal. Battery is here, so everything we need to do on this side of the car is for power. I always like to put my sub amp, obviously, closer to the power side, and any place signal is the signal amplifier. The problem is the box that he has is an awesome box by our good friend Bobby Gately. So we have a Gately box, 210s box, and the speaker cup is on the passenger side. So that means that we have to get signal from that amplifier all the way over to here, which is kind of not great because that's where all our signal is for our amplifiers. So the solution, sometimes solutions are easy. And if you look at the side of this, what we've done is this needed to be thicker anyway, so we made this thicker. Now it's 1 inch, 2 pieces of haft, all taped and screwed together. And we've added this groove right here. Now what this groove is gonna be for is now we can take the output of this, go through the amp rack, and then across the back here, and have that come over into those subwoofers. So that's the solution for this particular problem. This here is also going to be where our power wire comes down onto this and rides across, and then all of our signal wires will come across this back area here. So that's why there's a lot of, it's a simple amp rack, as they like to say, but it's very, you have to think about it. Make sure that everything makes sense. And then these two guys will go here, our wires will go out that way, and then of course all our signal will go this way. So we'll come out of this, out of the output here, into the epicenter, out of the epicenter, into our sub amp. We'll use the sub amps crossover for our epicenter. A lot of people ask that question. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what works for us. Moving on. So that's everything here. As I said, he's getting a Gately box with two, I think those are back here. He's getting two DC Audio 12. So here's the DC Audio 10s. I don't know why I keep saying 12s, because I don't know. I like 12s. Do not crush. So for those of you guys that are DC Audio fans, there they are. So that will be in the trunk area somewhere. We have the car apart. Here is, Metro makes the speaker wire, but they do not make the input side. The radio is removed because we were just going to see if we could go behind the radio, but we can't because with the digital screened radio, the output is in a different place, just verifying. Plus, we needed to take out the ANC, or fake noise, as it were. So here is the fake noise. This is up underneath and behind the air conditioner. It's two 10mm bolts. You don't have to pull it out, but we like to. So this is your ANC, fake engine noise. This is the factory amplifier. The difference between the amplifier, so on this year, this is an analog out of the radio into the factory amplifier, and how you can tell is that it just has these two plugs. On the newer version of the amplifier, there'll be a third black plug right here, and that is your digital into the amplifier. That's what sets these two apart. So on this is your speaker, this is your signal, and that's the plug that, oh wait a minute, nope, this is your signal. I'm sorry, this is your signal here. You can tell because these two big pins on this side are for subwoofer, and these two big pins here are for power, or vice versa. Either way, all this is small pins, which is your remote turn on. That's right, there's a remote turn on, as well as your sub, because this radio has a sub output. So you have 4 plus sub, there's 5 outputs. Amazing work every time, no shortcuts at 5-star. Nah, it takes too long to do it half-assed. You're doing hybrids or elates. You went too fast, last mid table, but those are elate boxes in the background. These are hybrids. So this is a hybrid. He's getting a set of hybrid Integras for the rear and a set of hybrid separates for the front. Integra just means coaxial. Do you have those out yet?
The coaxials? No.
Yeah. The elates are actually in a bigger box like that.
Yeah. No, but it's right there.
No, I know. I wanted to show them the elate or the. So these are the Integras. You have the center mounted on the. The tweeter mounted in the center there. A giant voice coil. The tweeter's mounted inside of it, and of course these are bi-amped from the crossover. So this has this giant crossover here. This will be passive. For the rears, the front will be active. So we have 2 in, tweeter mid out, going off to here. You could run a 4-channel amp to these. We're not in this case. We're just doing a passive because we just have 2 channels for the rear, 4 channels for the front. Here's the tweeter there again, mounted into its housing there. And in this one, you can use the factory Honda brackets, these guys that you can get from Metro. You do have to break these off, and you have to cut the door panel in the bottom corners because this basket is, as you can tell, big. So you'll have to do that in the front and the back. How much fun is that? Yay! Lots of love. Yes. Always. I see now the boxes. Ah, yes, Christian. Fernando, let's see the birthday present. All right, hold on. Hang on. So Mr. Bobby Burkett sent Fernando. Look at it, he's already got it up. You have the cool Coca-Cola opener for your
Dude. This is like
for your what did they call it when we went to Tijuana Flats?
The Mexican Coca-Cola.
You want the Mexican Coca-Cola? Yeah. Just got my new 6 3/4 KS speakers, the 6x9 components with the 2 8-inch Q7s. We'll be there later this week. Can't wait to build, box, and install. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Coca-Cola service.
For new model Accords 18 and up, do you sell the Amplifier T harness? No, we do not. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna have to start selling Morel. There you go. Audio or Arturo. Lots of fun, looking good, guys. Thank you, Arturo. Yeah, that car is gonna jam. The car is gonna be silly for sure. My birthday is Sunday, man. It's been 4 years since you guys did my 2017 A4. Mexican Coke with sugarcane. You know it. Right. What's up, Fro? Now, one of the reasons why we made sure to come on today is that tonight we actually have some training we have to get to at 7:30. Audison is having their BitTune version 3 Virtuoso training or something like that. We have one to do in 2 weeks, so we thought probably a pretty good idea to catch the training. So that starts at 7:30. Normally our show gets over at 7:30, so we're going to go about 15 minutes early tonight on Facebook. So we'll be up at 6:15 instead of 6:30 because we got to log off and log on to that. Clean up storm damage in Central Illinois. Wish I was installing car audio instead. Ooh, that sucks. It is raining right now.
Yeah,
I mean, if that makes you feel any better. Yeah, I was going to say, I can just go out the front door here. Yeah, so that's your typical... It actually hasn't rained, but you know why it's raining, right, Fernando?
Why is there rain? Oh, yeah, I know why it's raining.
It's raining because I washed my car Sunday.
Yesterday you thought.
Yeah, it totally sucks.
Right now, God is watching my car for me. I call him and he say, I'm on my way.
For those of you interested in picking up a wire ruler, we just got done making this order. Originally, we were just going to do blue and green from now on, but Brian asked us to do another batch of the red/pink. So we have red, if you've been waiting for red/pink or wanted a red/pink, those will be back in stock. And then, of course, the blue and greens are also in stock. So this will go out later today off to Mobile Solutions for wire ruling. You rule with the ruler. So that was why the lasers have been going at full force today. Had to get all that done.
Yeah.
Ah, good times.
Raining in SoCal, of course.
Hope to keep the front door locked with all the goodies in the room. We never actually. There's really no goodies in the room.
No.
There's nothing there. Most of it is just empty boxes. It's
foam
just,
that we keep.
We have some foam.
Yeah.
There's a backpack. Parts of the cars. We've been actually using it to put parts of the cars up there because, especially when it rains, we need some place to put the parts for the cars.
Empty boxes.
But yeah, and you know what the big boxes are? The big boxes are wiring harnesses that we still need to go through, that most of them will be thrown away. Oscar just started getting the signal from my car.
Nice, man.
Have fun with that.
I wish I could help it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, really, no goodies.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's about all we got going on here right now.
So remember.
What are we remembering?
Facebook, early today.
Facebook 6:15.
Yeah.
I want those 6.5s in my rear doors. They're going in the rear deck in this. Anyway, to get rid of a hiss with high frequency speakers, high efficient speakers. Ooh. No, I mean the problem with that is that they are so efficient, and try turning down your gain, or if you have some form of an EQ, you can go in there and lower the signal there as well. Or just get better amplifiers. I know you might have great amplifiers, but sometimes that high frequency noise is just coming from the amplifiers. But floor noise with something that is super efficient is kind of a common thing. Scored a pair of Dyne Audios for my front doors. Can't wait to install them. Nice. Going Friday to see Nightmare Before Christmas live. Nice. Have fun with that, Bobby.
Nice.
APH TOY1, work on a 2021 Tundra without JBL. APH. Is that just the T harness? Probably not. I mean, if it's the Amp Pro, no. Because Amp Pros and Toyotas don't do anything. No. If you don't have JBL, there's no Amp Pro to work in your car. The T harness, maybe, but typically if it's so in a Toyota, if it's a Tundra, it has an amplifier underneath the front seat. It's not JBL, so it won't work like JBL. However, you can use, for a harness, you can use the ATO3 to get all your wiring that you need out of the factory radio. Should be able to do that, although it might have changed on that one. If it's a car, it may have changed, but take a picture of your harness and then just compare it to the iData picture of their harness. How's the JBL 8-channel amps DSP? It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. It's a nice little DSP for the money. The nice thing about it is it's 25 by 8, so if you decide you want to go bigger, you can always, most amplifiers will take that as high level input and you can just get a bigger amp. Never mind, found a solution. Perfect. I had my appointment for the 1st of December, but I want to meet someone in Spanish to ask some questions. You can give Paul a call towards the end of the day and see if you can talk to Fernando. That would be the easiest way to do that. Usually sometime after 5. Between 5 and 6. Anything after 6, you're probably not going to get a hold of anybody. But yeah, that would probably be the easiest way to do that. But hey, that sounds like a lot of fun. Remember, tonight, 6:15, we'll be live on Facebook. We're going 15 minutes early because we have a class we need to get to after that. But otherwise, everything is hunky-dory.
Yes.
Make sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll tell you what else is going on in this Honda Accord, and we can check our progress. Until then.
On to the next one, guys.
Well, I was just going to say have a great rest of your day.
Sure. That one, too.
That one, too? All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Are you guys going to SEMA? Yes. Actually, good question.
Yes.
Forgot to answer. So before we leave, yes, we'll be at SEMA. We'll talk about it more tonight. We're going to be there with audio control. So tune in tonight and we'll talk more about SEMA. See you guys.
They say we rock, so yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's right.
Is it right?
No, it's not right. It's left.
Left out? Left in? Left on?
Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So soft. So sticky.
It is super sticky.
Yeah. Just don't stick it on itself. You know, this is pro tip of the day. If you do get some of this style foam like this, it sticks to everything and it'll pretend like it wants to stick to itself. But if you let it set for an hour or two, it'll actually peel right off of itself. So make sure when you're putting it on, you've done like overlaps on top of one another. It needs to be onto the surface. Hey, how come I can't find some of your older videos on YouTube? They're all there.
Yeah, they're all there.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Can I get that old school sound with the new stuff out right now, or do I have to get old school gear and amps, crossovers, etc.? I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. Like, I don't know what an old school sound would be.
Old school sound.
Yeah. I mean, sound is sound. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I would much rather have the stuff that's out now than that crap we had back in the day. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my 225 HCCA right there hanging on the wall because it wasn't amazing. It was for its time, but not anymore. You know, if you want sound to sound similar to that, then, you know, back then those were AB class inefficient amplifiers. So if you picked up a AB class inefficient amplifier, I guess that would kind of sound like that, but I don't want that. I want something that sounds better.
How many was that?
That was 2x25. That's why it's called a 225 HCCA. What's the order for tune when running a DSP? When do I set gains on the amp? The gain on the amp question with DSP. That's a good, I hate that question. It depends. And at the end of the day, it really just depends. And here's why. If, like this, you have a factor radio and it has some form of equalization done to it, you really need to know that before you start setting the gains. Because if you use your tried and true 1040, well, what if there's a dip at 40, and what if there's a dip or a boost at 1,000? So you kind of have to run it through some form of an RTA to figure out where that's at. Now, if you maximize out your gains to negative 5 dB, so let's say you don't. Let's say you have an aftermarket radio or something that has great zero output. You're, I'm going to maximize these things out. So then you set them to negative 5 dB, which is a 5 dB boost past zero. So that means that everything you're going to do with your DSP as far as the EQ goes is you have to cut. You have to cut everything because you've already boosted 5 dB. Now the reality is if you have a DSP and you have amplifiers, you probably have plenty of sound in your car. I suggest, and this is what we do, is we actually start at negative 6 dB on the amplifier, meaning not above. We start below. We start with a true decrease in sound. And the reason why we do that is we want to tune the car and figure out where everything is at. And then when we're done, if it's still not loud enough, we can go back in and we can add in some volume. The advantage of that is I don't have to cut everything as far as EQ goes. So, in other words, if I'm looking at my EQ curve and there's like one spot over here that's kind of messed up and I have to pull a bunch of stuff down, well, that doesn't make any sense. I could just boost 2 frequencies. So, to me, starting out a little bit lower than you normally would, tuning the car, and then going back in when you're done, and if it's still not loud enough, adding in the gain that you didn't add in the beginning, works for me. That's what works for me. There is no, like, you have to do it this way. Some guys will tune a car and everything is negative 5 and that's it, and they're going to pull down and they're going to do their thing, and that's great, that's cool, if it works for them, that's their deal. But everyone gets so excited about how loud their gains need to be. I say
all the way up.
All the way up. All the way up.
No, I don't.
Love for the rhyme. Maybe he means all the rattling bass and no treble. Green Honda Clips. I don't know. I mean, we haven't lost anything. It's all still there. At least I haven't read to see where it has erased anything. Subwoofer makes a fluttering noise at really low volumes. It might be engine noise. Or it could be something wrong with the amplifier. Arturo's in the house. Is sound deadening really necessary? I installed new Rockford Fosgate speakers to an LC 4.800 and it's super loud. I mean, is it really necessary?
I want to say yes.
I'm going to say yes too. However,
Is it necessary for you?
you know, okay. I don't eat red meat. It's a choice I made in my life that I don't want to eat red meat. Most people look at me and think I'm crazy because they just absolutely love red meat. I'm not that guy. So for me, someone that eats red meat is just like, yeah, you're just normal, average, everyday guy. I guess the correlation is here. You have to make choices that you're cool with. Should you do sound treatment? Yeah, because you'll get better sound. However, if it sounds good enough for you right now, well then don't do it. I mean, it's entirely up to you. I mean, if it's so loud you can't hear any rattles, buzzes, or anything like that, and it's giving you the performance you want, well then you're done.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what sounds good to you. Everyone gets so worked up. Like, there again, back to the red meat thing. Oh my God, you don't eat red meat. Oh my God, it's like the worst thing ever. No, it's not. It's just a life choice. It's okay.
The worst thing ever.
You know, people get all, oh my God, why? What does it matter? Why?
You're missing out, bro.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay. It's okay. It's peer pressure. Oh, you didn't do sound treatment? Your car is going to suck.
Yeah, probably.
To some people, it will. If it doesn't to you, who cares? Live your life, man. Live your life. Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Bobby. So for the Accord and the Metro piece, I saw a guy in Israel solve it with replacing an aftermarket mic, but it's a 5-pin mic. How do I replace?
What?
I mean, I have no idea. We don't ever use the Metro piece, but I can't integrate a Pioneer into that mic or a Kenwood or anything like that, so I don't really. And most of the time, the problem isn't with the Bluetooth. Are we talking about the amp? Are we I guess we're talking. You gotta be more specific on the cord with the metro piece, because if we're just talking about like the amp solution, I don't know. Yeah, we didn't unplug the Bluetooth microphone. Guess we could have tried that. That would have worked.
On where?
In the Civic when we were having the echo. Yeah, that would have worked, I guess, because there would have been no mic. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't see that. Send me a link. Jesus. Oscar.
What's up, man?
2017 Camaro SS need to replace stock battery due to old age. 2 VXI amps are driving the system. If you're worried about them losing their memory, they shouldn't. But yes, every now and then, 17, 21, yeah, that's about 4 years. I got 5 years out of mine in my Camaro, so yeah, you're good. Yeah, send me a link to that, to the guy that solved the problem switching out the mic. I'd be interested to see that. That'd be cool. Mama always said, I know it's early to wish for 12 days of Christmas this year. I don't think we're gonna really. I don't think we can do a 12 days of Christmas. Like we said last year. Last year was like an amazing thing. We knew that would never be repeated again, and without the product shortages and all that crap,
yeah, man, you can't.
I don't think we'll. I don't even want to ask these guys. I'd feel terrible. Hi, Cardio Addicts in the house. What's up, Fernando?
What's up, man?
Where's your Valentina? We're out. I know, I forgot to buy it this weekend. I feel bad. 2006 Nissan Altima has a lot of running noise. How can I solve it? I tried better grounds. Why does everyone always assume it's the ground?
Because everybody says it is the ground.
It's not always the ground. Sometimes it's a bad RCA. Sometimes it's a ground someplace else. Sometimes it's just crappy equipment. There's a lot of things that can cause noise. As I've said before, the best place to start, if is get your phone, get an aux jack to RCA. If it doesn't have an aux jack, because let's say it's an iPhone, get a lightning to aux jack, then an aux jack to RCA, plug it in. See if you still have noise. And if you don't have a digital multimeter, you kind of need a digital multimeter to do some testing.
Yep.
What is Fernando adding? Well, I'm going to go with that one. All right, let's check it out. So this is the white Honda Accord that we are working on. And right now, Fernando is finishing up the rear deck. This is the Ground Zero door kit. It comes with a 2-door kit. In this case, we're using it for the rear deck and the trunk lid, as well as the, did I say the hatch, whatever. The trunk lid. Did I say, no, I said trunk lid. Okay. So he's finishing this up right now. We have a set of Morel Hybrid Integras going in here, which I don't think he hasn't made those up yet. It is going to get powered off of this contraption here. So this is a D61200 that is going to power the hybrid separates up front as well as the coaxials in the back. He's got an LC11500 as well as an Epicenter that is going to power 2 DC audio 10-inch and a Gately box. So this is going to go right behind the seat. This will screw into place here and here. There's 2 holes that will rivet it into place. It is 1 inch thick here as well as a 1 inch thick. These are 2 pieces that are staggered so that the screws can go into the bottom this way as well as into the bottom this way. And then there's a 3rd piece here that is also bringing them together. So this is super rigid. This is a back bumper here that I have to replace the foam on it because I put the foam on too soon. This will lean up against the box. The box sits in the back of the car and it slides into place. This is the Gately box here. It slides into place and gets stopped by this. So everything is going to stay put in where it needs to go. And then you can just lift the box out if you need to. That wire is for this speaker here. Those wires are for that speaker there. What we ended up doing is there's 2 more wires that are there. Those are the input wires. The crossovers are buried in a bracket mounted behind the panel here. You can kind of see the top screw there. So we made a 1/2 inch bracket with nutserts so that it can screw into place and chill out. Wires, of course, zip tied up. So that'll be for the rear speakers. And then The front speakers are already in place and sound treatment up. As you can see, there's the rear deck. He's already got the sound treatment on this. You do have to open up the holes, make them round. If you've ever seen a Honda before, these holes are not round. To do a bigger speaker like that, you have to cut those out. Real fun. And of course, we removed the factory woofer so some of the air can come up through the back there. Looking at the front doors, oh man, these things are heavy. Ground zero treatment kit on this. The whole door, every piece, the card, the inside, the outside. We have the Morel tweeter located up here in the factory mount, as well as we made the cool little tiny Morel bracket little, yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can, yay. Morel logos to go there on the bottom. Man, these things weigh a ton now. Yeah, so that is going to do that. How this is going to work is there's a zero gauge. It's going to go up this side along with the two bass knobs. Haven't figured out where they're going yet. And then all the speaker and signal wire are going to go up that side of the car. They'll go through here and here. That little spot there, and there's another one right there, are where the rivets are. So there is a nut cert located here and there that we've put in, and then we have two screws here that'll hold those in place. And that will go into that. Yeah, so we typically use a air saw instead of a nibbler. Mainly just because of the edge. It kind of rounds over, and it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun with a nibbler. But air saw cuts through it like butter. Get good air blades. Still nothing to see here yet as far as that goes. The car's still apart. I need to put the radio back in. I'm just waiting until we figure out where the bass knobs go in case I need to run wires. Dean, is it possible to make some kicker badges for my doors? Of course it's possible. Can you help me with my 4-channel amp properly? Maybe. Will the kicker IQ interface allow you to tune with tweak programming for multiple IQ amps like they're 1 amp? Yes, if you have the controller, you can hook up to 4 amplifiers to it and tune it through the iPad software if you'd like. If you don't want to buy the controller and you have multiple amplifiers, there is a USB hub that they recommend on their website that you can buy for like $15 and do the same thing. Jeff is in the house, and nibblers make a mess. Yes, they do.
They do?
Nibblers? Yeah, it's a little, because it cuts the metal as it goes. That's why it's called nibbles on it. Neat name, right? Did you answer the Metro piece? Sorry, got disconnected. I was assuming you were talking, first I thought you were talking about the radio, then I figured you might be talking about the DSP. I have no idea what the guy did. So you might, you're gonna have to peel all that off.
Why?
Because it's not gonna sit flat and it's gonna bulge out.
No, because it has clips. So
I don't know. I'm thinking it's gonna bulge out. Send me a link to the video. I'll take a look at it and see what he did. I have no idea how he did it though. Just all Bluetooth issues. Yeah, I'd have to see the video. Is there a way to mount 10-inch subwoofers in the rear deck of a Lexus IS without rattling coming from license plate? I mean, I believe you know the answer to the question in the sense that in order for something not to rattle, it has to be rigid. So you'd have to make it very rigid. That's just it. The more rigid you make it, the less it's going to rattle. So either the metal doesn't move or the speaker doesn't move. It's just all there is to it. So if you can figure out a way to do that, then you can figure out how to keep the license plate from rattling. But rigidity is your friend. Hi from Iran.
Hey.
But anyways, that's what's going on here in the Bay. Today is Tuesday still, right?
Yes, all day.
All day Tuesday. Do we have anything we needed to tell you?
We're gonna be in Vegas on Monday.
Well, SEMA's on Monday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if anybody's going to be at SEMA, we'll be at the audio control booth. You can stop by, say hi.
Jeff is going to be there.
Jeff is going to be there. If you've never met Jeff, you can see Jeff. He'll be these 2 Amp Global sites. Yeah. He'll be probably bouncing back and forth between them. So that'll be nice. I don't know. I think that was it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It's what we're working on. So
but Tuesday?
it's a Tuesday.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, got so as far as videos go for this week.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Tomorrow you get an IRTA2 video, how to look for ANC, which will be nice. Thursday you get behind the scenes, our thoughts on Rockford. And then Friday you get the most anticipated behind the scenes Fernando's trip to audio control, which he got to watch this morning and he was like, oh, this is cool. What are the requirements to go to SEMA? Tickets and a mask.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think you have to go onto their website and buy tickets.
Buy your ticket. Yeah.
And then, spectator, anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody can go. It's open to the public.
Mask inside.
You do have to wear a mask inside, not one outside. It's open to the public. So if you're in Vegas, you go to their website, and I believe you can buy tickets there. I don't know. I haven't done that. But yes, it is open to the public. So anyone that is going to SEMA can anybody. Are you able to make kick panels and door panels on this Accord?
No.
Me personally, no. We don't do that kind of stuff.
I mean, a lot of people does.
A lot of people do. There are people that could do that, depending on where you're at. Mm-hmm. We could maybe point somebody that way. But depending, I don't. We know.
But not here.
But not at us. I don't. Homie, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. We just don't do custom panels. It's kind of not our thing. California. California, you have. There's a ton, depending on where you're at.
You have Gary.
You have Gary Bell, which I can never remember the name of his shop.
Define Sounds. Define Concepts. I'm sorry.
Define Concepts. Then you have Jaime's shop, which is
Agora
Auto Sound. Junior's shop, or Anthony's, is
Audio Systems. Yep.
Anthony's probably you can find him here on Instagram as well as YouTube. He's the one you could probably get into the fastest out of all of those, because the rest of them are going to have probably backups for months. Not saying he doesn't, but
right.
Junior's pretty awesome. So you can find Audio Systems on YouTube and kind of check them out. But there again, it depends. California's a big place. There's a lot of really good people in California. And those are just three of the ones off the top of my head.
You froze on me.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're doing good.
Too many Accord coupes?
This is 4 doors.
This is 4 door. I think we do more 4 doors than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, they're all the same as far as the front end goes, where we're concerned. As far as the front end goes, where we're concerned, it's all the same. Relax. They took a door off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. All right, guys, listen, we're going to get back to work. Thanks so much for playing with us today. This has been 5 Minutes 5 Star. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye. How you doing?
Oh.
Awesome.
Trying to change the flat tire over here.
While you're parked in a ditch?
Oh, yeah, man. It was a rough day.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Anyways, hey guys, how's everybody doing? We finished the Honda Accord. We actually just finished the Honda Accord. Arturo!
Hey, man.
And we're putting the covers on the amplifiers. Everything's tuned up, super sexy. So for those of you just turning in for the first time, hola, Oscar. Let's take a look at what's going on while Fernando's screwing that back in. So we did sound treatment on the front doors, the rear package tray, and the trunk lid. We used the Ground Zero kit, so we did full door, used all the stuff on that, and then we used the stuff on the trunk lid. You'll notice this black line here. There is a open cell foam that we put on this that we actually rob out of the Kenwood stuff that they send us and line the whole thing so that when the bass flexes, it doesn't smack the window, along with all the sound treatment on here. And then for those of you that are curious, like, this is just a Honda, okay, as you can hear. It's very solid. How much sound treatment do you think it takes to cover this area here? So that's this, guess. How many sheets of, you know, the standard size of sound treatment it's take that we put inside of this? Closest.
Whoever answered right, you're gonna send him an air freshener.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not sending anything right now.
Yeah.
10 is a little high.
No.
This is because I have a Civic. Civic would take the exact same amount. Hey, there you go. We got a winner. Yep, the Shadrick 62. It took 4 to 6 sheets would be right. But yeah, we used 4.5 sheets. 4.5 sheets to do this. And it's a pain. I hate doing this, so I did this so Fernando could finish underneath the hood. How I find the best way to do it is, especially with this that had multiple layers and contrast, is to cut this, just cut it into 2.5 inch or 4 inch strips, about that 4 inch strips, you know, and then cut those into squares and just start putting them all over. And, you know, eventually it just weighs like 1,000,000 pounds. Let's pop this. Doors, we have the Morels in, all set, done. Morels are in the back. You can go back to yesterday and see what those look like. Oh, why did I pop the trunk and not the hood? Talking and moving. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Oh, while we're over here. So the problem we had is we had an Epicenter and we have a bass knob. And there's not a good place to put either one of them. Well, so we decided to put the Epicenter here out of the way, because this is the one thing, you know, he's got kids, so our thought was if we put this over here out of the way, then he can set it the way he wants and just leave it alone. And then up under this is where we put the bass knob. So purely function, effect, volume. That way if the kids are playing around and they turn the subwoofer up by accident, it's not a big deal, as opposed to just cranking the Epicenter up all the way and just making it, you know, sound like a 100-pound gorilla. Pop that for me.
Pop the hood?
Pop the hood, please. Oh, make sure you wipe off the windshield where I had my head. All right, so up underneath the hood, he went with the excess power group for his car. So this is the group size battery for his car. However, it was about a 1/4 inch too small for his car. So what Fernando came up with was kind of unique. So we were going to need a spacer up underneath the bracket to hold the battery in place. So that's what we used to make our battery mount. So the battery mount is actually our spacer. Slides up underneath, tighten it down, and then he had me make this acrylic panel here just to add a little pizzazz to it. But he routed it to this size so that it doesn't, you know, kind of vanishes, I guess, and then it runs over here. Upgrade the factory ground. So here we added a 0 gauge, because the factory ground in this just is like 8 inches long. It goes from here to here, you can see it. So we just added a 0 gauge ground off to that. And one of the things we've been talking about a lot is battery clamps. Most of the time they're on your ground. This is the ground battery clamp for this. So if you are going to be doing any groundwork, make sure you go here and not here. That way it goes through the battery clamp. Sometimes they're round, but this is what most new cars are using, which is way nicer. It's super cool. Glad that most cars are using that. So that's that. That's the hood. Not much to see there. Let's go to the back here. And this is what we got. This is what we ended up with. Signal and everything goes up that way. Power and everything comes up this way along with the bass knobs. These are the new T-Spec from Metra. distribution blocks. I ordered these. They finally came in. We've been waiting like 6 months, it feels like. Probably not, but it 0 gauge in, up to 2 0 gauge out, or in this case you have a 0 gauge and 2 4 gauge, or 4 and a 0 and a 4 and a 0. So this kind of comes up here and then goes around and goes up underneath this. This is suspended, of course, so that the wires can go underneath it. Get a little bit lower, you can see all the speaker wires and everything just kind of go off and into that side of the car. Power wire, bass knobs. They use the exact same wires for the Epicenter and the amplifier. So this is the ACR1 bass knob here. This is the Epicenter knob, and they're identical, literally identical. So what we do is we put a purple piece of heat shrink on the other end of it, because when you think of bass, you think of purple, right?
Of course.
Purple beats.
Yeah.
So that's our default color for Epicenter is purple.
Yep.
And that way when you get them up to the front, and then there's dual 10 gauge that come out over here and go off to the subwoofer. Now for subs, he got himself a Bobby Gately box. That's right, woo, Gately. 2 DC audio subwoofers. These are dual 4s. So we have it wired up to, these are dual 2s. So you have 2 ohms at the amplifier. 10 gauge wire runs over into here. He bought the copper nuts on them. So we have dual 10 gauge. And this piece here is what's holding the box in place. That's screwed up into this. So the whole idea is that when you like attach it to the metal and all that, it doesn't give. It's just gonna rip the metal out, because it will stop. It just needs something to, it almost needs like that shock absorber. So by putting that strip there, when he slams on the brakes or accelerates, there'll still be a little bit of give, okay? And that's nice, but then it's gonna stop. And that holds that box in place. We've put tons of these things in. It's just kind of our thing. Now the nice thing is, if he needs to get this out, all he's gotta do is lift it up and it slides right out. So that's really key, was trying to figure out a system that allowed us to do that. And all it is a piece of 1/2 inch blown PVC that gets screwed into the bottom. This is wood, so it goes through that, holds it all into place. Beautiful box. That tucks right up in there too. Look at all the room he's still got.
Oh yeah,
He's got tons of room. He's got kids, so
yeah,
he's gonna have room. Now the rears are the Integra hybrids, which you can see down here. And these are dual voice coil. Okay, not dual voice coil, but dual input speakers, dual terminals. So you have your mid bass on one and your tweeter on the other.
Yep.
So they have passive crossovers, big full side passive crossovers that go onto each one of them. And what we did is we made a custom mount for them behind this panel. That's one of the screws here, so it slides up into place, screws in, and then all the wire. And then there's an attachment cable that's behind here. As far as grounding goes, 0 gauge ground. There was a spot here that we were able to put a nut and bolt through. So the 0 gauge ground went back here. Super cool, nice ground point. Passenger door looks the exact same. Got all this back together. To get to the factory amplifier, it's easier. Pull this off, this will unsnap. 3 screws across the top, 2 screws across the bottom, one side here. The whole glove box comes out. There's a little button in there that unplugs, and you can get to the amplifier that's located here. There's 2 clips on this. When you're pulling this out, don't grab it from the top and just yank it. Pull the rubber off and just kind of feed your hand behind it and push from the backside. This is some crappy plastic. This is the one part of the Honda car that's like, really guys? So, but we learned that lesson a long time ago, thankfully. So, passing it along to you. Radios, factory. I think that's it. Is that everything? Yeah. Let's take another look at the amplifiers. Ooh, so we got the covers on. You can kind of see the signal wires better. The RCAs. So with the RCAs, this radio is variable voltage output, and what that means, those are the Stinger. Hold on. Stinger Pro X12, I think is what they're called. I gotta order some more. X12 line. Basically, it's just their Stinger X cable with a speaker wire on it. What that means is that we can run wiring, no RCAs, just plug them in, run all our twisted wiring up into the kick panel here and connect it right at the factory plug. Thank you, Morel. And what the easiest way to do that is to figure out what's positive, negative, and all that fun stuff first, which of course we've already done, and we wrote it down here. So in this case, you have a red positive, green negative, green positive, red negative. Yeah, that sucks. Pink, blue, purple, light blue. So that's all our positive negatives. And then the subwoofer is yellow, brown, positive, negative. And then there's a light green wire, pin 13, which is a remote turn on, which we hooked up to a relay to turn on all three devices. What that means is now we'll come over here to our wiring and we'll grab all those colors and we'll make all our runs, twist them together so you can kind of see the leftovers here. Here's the leftovers. Solder those RCAs on, then run those wires all the way up to the front of the car, and then all we have to do is match up colors. It's all done. We don't have to sit there and go, it's done. And there's our signal. Solder them up. No RCAs, it all just runs in, sounds wonderful, no noise, no blah, none of that. And then of course your speaker wires do the same thing. So it makes it all fun. Hello from Finland. Haven't seen you install an LC2i in a long time. I gotta be honest with you, it's not a lot of need for it anymore because a lot of the amplifiers we're using have really good high level to low level adapters in them. The only time we use them is when we're dealing with something that has like a 20 volt output or a 40 volt output. The other day, we had a Mercedes, BMW? BMW. I think we had a BMW in, what was that, 20 volts or 30 volts?
20
volts of output. So we're like, crap, that sucks. So we actually used the LC1i for that car because we didn't have any bass roll off or anything like that. So that just hooked right up and worked out really super sexy. Speaking of super sexy, we got a gift today. Dean and Fernando. Let's take a little reader here. It says, thank you. It says, Dean and Fernando, thank you for taking the time and hanging out with us. We always appreciate the both of you. Sending big hugs. They're huggers. Natasha and Casey. So Morel sent us a gift box. Now this is good for us and you. So we got Morel air fresheners. Who doesn't think that's just the coolest thing ever? We got a bunch of those. My car doesn't stink. We got some keychains and some pens, which is pretty cool. She gave us some shirts. These, you guys don't get those. But we did get a couple hats also. Now the cool thing is, of course we're gonna give this away. All right, you guys know we're gonna give this away. What we're gonna do is we're gonna save this, and then when the IRTA goes on sale in 2 weeks, we're just gonna randomly, the first couple orders we get, we're just gonna throw that stuff in there. So if you order an IRTA, you're just gonna get one of the Morel gifts that we got. I'm wearing that hat right now. I know, I have it in the back of my car. That's my car cap, you know, so I can drive around and everyone doesn't have to stare at my bald spot while I'm shooting up the road in my Mustang and somebody goes, oh, you must be 50. No, not yet, but suck it. Anyways, thank you, Morel. Yeah, so that's what we decided we're gonna do is, they're tchotchkes, so, you know, and they're small, they'll fit in the boxes that we have for the IRTAs. So we'll just, except for the hats. The hats, we'll get those in there somehow, or we'll just use a bigger box. Point is, we're just gonna give those away when that. You'll be able to, we have to get back from SEMA, so I'm thinking about 2 weeks, we'll have the website up and running. You're gonna order it on DNF Tool Drawer. It's gonna be $250 plus shipping. So it's just a matter of getting, I'm almost done with that whole side of the website. It's just every time I think I have time to do something, then I remember I have to do something else. Life of this. A couple cool things that are coming up though. For those of you guys that know who Greg Cobbs is, we did a wonderful interview with him at Kicker. He's a fun guy. He's an SPL. Why did I say Kicker? I don't know either. I know. Sorry. We interviewed him at Rockford, and I edited it last night, submitted it for approval. So hopefully they'll get back with me today, because I can't wait for you guys to see the interview we did with him. It was freaking awesome. He was great. We still have the Bill Jackson interview. I don't have to get that one approved because he's the CEO and he says whatever he wants. So I'm kind of excited about that. We also have Fernando's Friday, this Friday, 2 days from now. You guys are going to get Fernando's trip to audio control. So when we went back to audio control, a month and a half ago? Something silly like that. We filmed a lot of it. And you're going to get to see that. So we're pretty excited. It was amazing. And I got that all done and ready to go. You're also Thursday, so you're going to get 2 talkie videos this week. And I apologize. It just kind of worked out. What's the price? The IRT is going to be $249.99 plus shipping. But tomorrow you're going to get our thoughts that we have from going to Rockford. So we, in the mornings or at night, we kind of like talked about the day a little bit. Really what happened is, and we kind of screwed up, I feel, is that we went live a couple times on Instagram, went live a couple times on YouTube, and if you were to pull some strange, like Indiana Jones, put all 3 formats together, then you got a really cool documentary, which we didn't think about. It kind of sucked. So don't forget my birthday, Saturday. You need help, Christian. But we didn't do that at audio control. So the audio control turned out, it's awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just saying that. He said it was awesome. I always think everything sucks, and then he says it's awesome. So, but no, you guys will get to see that. So we learned a valuable lesson, and next time we'll do better, which will be Sema. So we're going to have some good time. I need help too with my Tesla.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, drive it over, man.
That would be awesome.
You got the better laser though, so.
You got the better laser.
Yeah. I love my audio control. Who doesn't?
You got some skills.
So.
Yeah.
Their DSP is awesome. So we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done with this. We're done with this.
Yeah.
Afternoon to you. So, I think that's everything.
That's it, man.
Today is Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday all day.
Thank God. Carbon or hybrids?
I'm gonna pick hybrids.
Ooh, hybrids. Dude, I gotta tell you, man. Like, we haven't done a lot of hybrids. Not gonna lie, I haven't done a lot of hybrids. Fernando has a pair of hybrids. And when you do the first set of hybrids, the new ones, these are the new hybrids.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, wow. Is it the environment that they're in, or is it, the car, right, which is the same as the environment they're in? Is it the tune? And then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Those are nice. But this has hybrids now, so we were able to, tune this up. And oh my, dude, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
These tweeters, these things are insane. Like insanity.
Like, very nice. Love that.
Wow, man. Gosh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, they're very nice. If you're talking about like a late carbons, then obviously, you're gonna spend the money and go with those because you're gonna get the best that you can afford.
LA Carbon Pros, okay, Oscar.
Yeah, exactly.
He has the 9s.
If you're talking about the Virtus carbons,
yeah, then
you definitely want the hybrids, unless you need the room. Like the Virtus carbons are the thin speakers, so if you need that thin speaker that's a half-inch deep, then you got to go with those. Otherwise, if you got room, go crazy. 2019 Pathfinder radio high output LC8i installed, but radio doesn't turn on after a few minutes. Got an idea why? 2019 Nissan Pathfinder radio high output into LC8i installed, but radio doesn't turn on after a few minutes. Got an idea why? All right, when you say radio, do you mean sound? That's really the question I have to ask, because those are 2 different problems. If the physical radio isn't turning on, that's a power issue. If the radio is turning on, but the sound isn't turning on, then that's a load resistor issue, in which case the Class D amplifier in there is not sensing the speakers and therefore is turning off to protect itself. Simple solution for that is pick yourself up a set of LGDs. My guess is you're probably going to need the LGD greens. They come in blue, green, and gray.
So the
green
stock
seems
radio.
to be the stock radio. Yeah, so that'd be the stock radio. If it's no sound, it needs LGD greens. If there's no power, then you got a bigger problem.
Something else, yeah.
That's something else.
Radio and sound.
For 2 nanos for old school cars.
Yeah.
Or new school cars. Dude, we actually did a set of those in a Honda Accord at some point, and they are frickin'.
So, all right.
They rocked.
If it's the radio, so it's powered and no sound at the same time.
Power and no sound?
So,
Ooh.
and he got the LGDs.
If
So
you got power
definitely-
and no sound, you got issues.
I would definitely
pull it all back
pull it
apart.
out, yeah. Just
Put it all
disconnect
back to factory.
and see if you have reboots the factory radio,
Yeah.
and then start again.
Anytime you run into catastrophic failure like that, you have to start over. Meaning you have to go back to wherever it was when you first started and make sure it still works there. Then you can slowly but surely back out of that and figure out what you did wrong or what the radio isn't liking.
El Fernandez, what's up?
That's really what it comes down to. It could be something as simple as you thought you grabbed a power wire and you actually grabbed a data wire and you're shorting out a data wire. Could be something like that. So where'd you get the power for the LC8i? I don't know. You might have got it behind the radio. You might have got it at the amplifier. I don't know. But that's what we would do is we would just put it all back and go from there. I got my Autofrog GB lines and Rockford T012s all hooked up. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
My Ford has something called Smart Charge alternator and it gives about 13.4 or lower depending on the load, so it's impossible to install high wattage systems. What kind of Ford is it?
Yeah.
And what year?
What year?
What
year? What kind of car?
Smart Charge usually, like at the beginning of this, we talked about the pop the hood again. Smart Charge usually has to do with the load that the car is putting on the charging system, and there is a amp clamp in the car that's regulating that. So as long as you're inside the amp clamp, then it really doesn't matter. See if he's updated to tell us what kind of car it has. So for example, some Ford F-150s or some Fords, the newer Fords, use an amp clamp that looks like this connected to the ground terminal. The older ones are going to use an amp clamp that is round and connected off of the ground wire over here. If it's an F-150, that's the only time that ever matters because the ground plane is aluminum and it gets weird, in which case you either go to the factory ground here if it's a small enough system, or you try to fit your wire through the amp clamp and go to the battery, in which case now that the amperage draw will be passing through that amp clamp and the alternator will function properly because it's seeing the right load through the system. It's when you were going around it.
Yeah, you have a Ford Focus 2014.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
2014 1.6 EcoBoost.
Yeah, that's not a problem. No,
you can put anything. Yeah,
it shouldn't be a problem because we've worked on those cars before.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of making sure you don't circumvent the amp clamp.
Right.
Because it regulates by the current draw. So if you add more stuff to the car's just gonna. All right, well, the AC fan is on now.
Yeah.
The cigarette lighter, power port is plugged in. So the other thing too is it's a small car.
Right. Now when you
not that matters because I mean Jesus, the Ford Festiva, the booger we put 3 Alpine same year, 3 Alpine X-type amplifiers and an 850 TSP. The car was fine. The transmission broke.
I just ran 14 gauge speaker wires to the rear doors and my F-150. Not looking forward to do the fronts. Oh, you definitely.
Why would you want to do the fronts?
That's like
a good friend of mine that was an engineer and way smarter than all of us. Way smarter than all of us. Literally laughed at me when I said to him in his F-150, he was getting ready to put his Morel Elate 8-inch in the door, and I said, "So, man, what are you gonna do for power wire or for speaker wire?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "What are you gonna do for speaker wire?" He goes, "Nothing." I said, "Well, you put a lot of amperage to it." And he goes, You mean wattage? And I go, yeah, whatever. And he goes, no, dude. It's plenty big. How much power that these things are going to get, that size wire isn't going to affect a damn thing. And I said, would you like to go on the show and tell everybody that? And he goes, hell no, I'm not going on the show and tell everybody that, because I don't need a bunch of guys that don't know shit about nothing trying to tell me that I got to run 12 gauge. And I'm the one with the master's degree in engineering, electronics. And
it's a topic that's always going to be there.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine. You got to do what you got to do.
You need it, and you have the time, go for it.
No doubt. It is going to be a pain in the ass. Yes. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, we've done that before, so...
I mean, hell, we've had to take doors off cars.
Correct. Explorer.
Yeah.
2021. Don't do that.
Mazdas.
It's a pain.
It is a pain. But, honestly, taking the door off saves so much time.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Saves so much time.
Man, hopefully you have somebody to help you, because...
Or a Jack.
Or a Jack, yeah. No, go
Jack.
for it,
His name is Jack.
Awesome. Hey, Dean.
Hey.
AM FM tuner is not working.
Oh.
My 997XR. Check the antenna. Any thoughts?
Okay. If it's not working at all and it's just dead, that's one thing. That's just a bad tuner. If it has crappy reception, that's another problem. Could be one of two things. Depending on the car you put it in, any car that's within the last, 5 to 8 years, it's going to have an amplified antenna. And if you don't hook that up, then you get no reception. If you got the amplified antenna correct, and the easiest way to check that is just to, plug in the factory radio and see what's going on and make sure you hooked it up. If you got that correct, which my guess is you probably didn't, but if you got that correct, the next question would be, do you have amplifiers in the car? And if you have cheap amplifiers in the car, which wouldn't make sense because you have a pretty expensive radio, so I can't see you putting cheap amplifiers in there. But Class D amplifiers that are not of great quality bleed RF like a bitch and will totally destroy your FM. The easiest way to test for that, of course, is just to pull power on them and see if the FM works again. It's pretty amazing how bad it can screw that up. I listen to FM because there's a good talk station here, and some days I'm just not in the mood for music. So I drive with the top-down blaring talk radio.
Dude, it's been a long time I don't listen to FM.
Honestly, I've only started doing that recently just because I got tired of my playlist. So what I do is I go in waves.
Yeah.
I'll listen to talk radio so then I can go, man, I really miss listening to music. Then I'll go back and listen to the same, 200 songs that I have. Yeah. And then I'll get tired of listening to those and I'll go back to talk radio. So I just flip-flop between the two. 360.3 is still a good DSP for factory integration, or should I get a new one? Do you know how to use it? If you know how to use it and it'll give you it gives you everything you need, then use it. The only time you need to upgrade is when it's not going to do something you need it to do. That's it. So if you're comfortable with the 360.3, you have one, you've used it before, you know how the software works, you know how the inputs and outputs work, and it'll integrate in your car and give you all that, go ahead and use it.
All right.
If it doesn't, get a new one.
All right. We did the system on the FM and AM, no reception. I'm guessing it was...
did it?
Yes.
Oh, then bring it back.
We did it. Yes, please.
Make an appointment, bring it back.
Make an appointment, just call. If it was working before, something happened.
If it was working before and it's not working now, then yes, something must have happened. Right. So that's different. That could be the 997 tuner took a break. I mean, you got to ask the full question.
Just call, make an appointment.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. Then it's our problem. Don't ask what the problem's going to be. Just call and let us figure it out. That's way easier.
Just call.
That's what you paid for. Duh.
Who are you going to call?
I mean, it might take you a couple weeks to get in, but that's okay. We'll still figure it out.
Hey, what's up, man?
There again, who listens to FM? Me, right? Yeah.
It's Mosconi Mili Pro 530. Better than the audio control. I think it's...
I don't know.
D6-1200? I don't know, man. I don't know what is the Mosconi 530 is the big one, I think, so...
I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
I haven't installed that.
Any experience with 2020 Mazda CX-5? Would the LOC be enough, or are there EQ issues that require a DSP? there's always EQ issues. There isn't a brand new car on the road today that doesn't have some form of factory EQ put in it.
Yep.
The question that you have to ask yourself, whether you need an LOC or you need a DSP, which will have the LOC in it, is what is the reason why you're replacing the factory speakers?
What are you trying to do?
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to just make it louder? Do you like the way it sounds, but it's
Maybe
just
you
not
just
loud
want
enough?
Bass.
Maybe you
An
just want
LOC,
bass.
a good LOC, please, and a good LOC.
If the car sounds like crap, and you're like, man, I really want this to sound better, and you're going to go spend a bunch of money on some speakers, a bunch of money on some amplifiers. If you don't get a DSP, you're pissing in the wind. Because you can't change the factory sound without it. So that's you just have to ask yourself what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Me personally, DSP. Got to have a DSP.
All the way.
Because you can't, otherwise, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just chill out? Hey, it sounds okay. Cool.
I don't need Google. I have a DSP. Ha.
P61200, the 530 is a 5-channel without DSP. Oh, so
Okay.
if it's a 5-channel without DSP, then you just need the audio control 5.1300. That's their 5-channel.
Yeah.
So the D6 or the D5 1300.
Well, the D is there, yeah.
Yeah, D always means DSP. LC just means regular line input. So, but they make the 1300 5-channel. So, I mean, you can use a 6-channel as a 5-channel, but I wouldn't. Not anymore. Just make sure you piss it in the wind. Always, man. Why don't you guys use a wire database like All Data? You could still test each wire afterwards, and it would save time. I gotta be honest with you. We've talked about it. All Data or Mitchell's.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the list of things to do. We just haven't gotten to a point to where we've needed it yet.
Yeah, I know.
We can bang through a car pretty quick as far as figuring everything out. We have the right tools to do it.
Right.
I
mean, yes, you're probably right. You know, it's gonna take less time because you go there and everything.
Well, here's how I look at it. Okay. It's nice to have that information, and the few times we've needed that information, luckily we've been able to find it without going there.
Correct. Yes.
Knowing how to get the information,
Yeah.
to me, is way more important and way more valuable, because All Data and Mitchell's are always going to be a bit behind in certain cases, and if they don't have the information I need, well, then I'm stuck. I started installing alarm systems a long time ago when cars didn't always have tech sheets, so you'd have to go find the wires. So troubleshooting and hunting and pecking were just part of the nature of when I started doing this. Mm-hmm. Those are great tools to have, but having the tool of actually having to figure stuff out sometimes, yes, it will save time, but it also, I feel, not going to say makes you dumb, but it takes away some of that troubleshooting ability or just knowledge of how things work.
Right.
So, yes, it's a valuable tool to have just like anything else. But sometimes, like my friend says, man, I could just build it faster than I could CNC it.
100%.
I'm like, okay, whatever works for you, bro.
Yeah. Like I say, yeah, it might be easy, but like we have all the tools, we take the time.
Trust me, there's some days where we sit there and go, damn it, why don't we just...
Exactly.
And Paul will buy it for us. It's not like he won't.
This is why we take notes.
Yeah.
You know, we have all days that we take notes for that.
DNF are the All Data. They figured out Audi. Yeah. You hit your head.
Yes. I thought that was like...
I know. I was like, he's going to hit his head. And I'm going to close this. Put your head underneath it.
Just a finger.
It makes you lazy. Yeah, listen, it's a tool like anything else. You either use it or you don't. Your brain is a tool like anything else. You use it or you don't.
No, I think you have to adapt to what it is outside, but in the end of the day, it's good to...
Okay, so when using a DSP, how to properly set it up using two-way component speakers. You mean, are you going to go active or passive? I think is where we're lost in the translation. If you're going to go active, obviously you go to each speaker individually and tune for each speaker, make each speaker match, meaning the two tweeters match in performance and output value, the two mid-range match performance and output value. If you're talking about using a passive crossover, it's still the same process. You make sure the left and the right match. It's still the same thing. It actually makes it easier to do that because you have a big EQ.
When you set up the DSP, should the EQ settings on the aftermarket radio
Be flat. Yes, they should.
Yeah.
Do you guys do speaker adapters for those hybrids?
No.
Actually, no.
No. All right. So Metra makes speaker adapters. You still have to cut it.
Get him
And
a
then I
Band-Aid.
just sound treatment the.
You still have to cut the factory door because the speaker itself is too big. But the tweeter went right in. Yeah, we didn't have to build anything.
And I just put like sound treatment around the speaker bracket, so make it more rigid.
Yeah. Passive. Yeah, so if you're going to do a DSP with passive, there again, time align to the mid bass in the door, and then tune right, tune left, and make the two match. It's okay. When you're doing time alignment, it's going to work the same way. Measure to the mid bass, put in that measurement. Measure to the other mid bass, put in that measurement. And then to align, use the level control to turn down the driver's side till the sound is in the center where you want it, and you'll be all set. I haven't done a single passive system in the longest all active, baby. Well, you're so cool.
It is.
Sorry, we're not as cool as you, Oscar. Dean, wish I could meet up with you at SEMA, but my shop at the house being installed this week.
Oh man.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Next time, bro.
It's a long drive.
It is. Next
It
time.
is a long drive.
JL Audio Fix.
Our audio control DM608 is one better than the other.
Different.
Okay, they're different in that the
Channels there are the
fix,
same, but
the fix is just a DSP EQ. There's no integration on it at all. It's RCA in, RC out because they make. Actually, the fix is a fix, which is the input EQ
the correction for the signal.
for the input signal,
Yes.
and then you need the tweak to actually do everything else.
Correct.
Whereas the DM608 is all in one. So it has the input RTA, and then it has auto, which if you run 3 times will do.
So totally different pieces.
Yeah, they're totally different things. So you need the
fix,
tweak,
Yeah.
the fix and the tweak to get to the DM608.
Yeah. Or use the fix and the 608.
Yeah. I would just do it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
World of difference when time aligned for demos at car shows. Yeah. Sometimes.
Oh, Vegas
Depends.
is 300 miles for you. Oh, okay.
Screw that. There's a couple of different speakers, so I always keep acrylic PVC speaker mounts in hand.
Oh, that sounds amazing, man.
Yeah. Oh, this one?
Yes.
Oh, this sounds good. I'm sorry. He said amazing. I said good. That's bad. But no, it sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
It's good times. Good times to be had by all. All in one better. Okay, 2021 CX5 bass 4-speaker system. Is this easy to install? A DM608. Are there any harnesses available? Can I put hole in A-pillar for tweeter? Never seen the A-pillar to figure out if you can put a hole in it. My guess is probably not a flush mount because it's probably round. That's usually the problem for that. As far as if it's a 4-channel factory output, should be easy enough because the DM608 has 6 inputs, so the front 4 should go in pretty easily. You may need load resistors of some kind. At a minimum, the LGD blues. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
As far as harnesses go, it's Mazda. You're gonna have to hunt and pack, man.
Yeah, pack Metra, you gotta.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Metro would be the place I'd go. I would try to find a. They make all their harnesses start with a 70-4 numbers and then a 71-4 numbers. A lot of the times you can find the 70 and the 71, which is one is reverse, one is into the back of the radio, and connect those up and make your own T harness. So you might have to do that. Flats or hybrids? Oh, hybrids. Yeah. That's for me. I mean, you're asking, so I'm saying. I like the hybrids. But they're awesome. Both of them are awesome.
Yeah.
I have the 3 settings on the DSP: driver, passenger, and demo, making sure all EQs and time alignment is perfect. Yeah. I mean,
everything is good.
it's fun. I mean, let's be honest, man. If you got the time, and you want
Yes.
it, why would you not?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you know how to use it, it's there to have fun. It's there to have fun.
Have
So,
fun. Just don't
have
blow
fun.
nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not having fun. That's blowing stuff up. So nobody wants to blow anything up. All right. Well, hey, listen, guys, that's it. That's all we got for you right now. We got some stuff we got to do before we get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been 5 Minutes 5 Star. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye, guys.